Alright, what's up guys? Ali from Islands Outdoors here, and you want to learn to cast net like this? Of course you do, who wouldn't? Stick around and I'll show you how to do that. So basically what you'll find with cast netting is someone will usually put the lead line in their mouth, or they'll throw it up on their shoulders, and all of those methods, they work just fine. They're great, okay? There's no problem with them. They're great for opening the net, especially if you have a 12-footer, an 8-footer, or a really big net. But you don't get a whole lot of distance with those methods because there's not a whole lot of power coming from, letting go of that net off your shoulder or from your mouth. And in most cases, depending on where you're casting your net, you don't want to put that lead line in your mouth, or you don't want to put that net on anywhere near your clothing, especially if you're wearing white. So what I'm going to show you guys today is a way that you can cast your net and get out further. You get that distance. With those methods that I mentioned before, you can like get bait if it's right under the boat or right at the dock. But in most cases, the bait aren't going to be close by all the time. Sometimes you have to get out there. You have to reach that bait, especially if you're trying to get mullet like I'm trying to get here. Like, I've had days where I've stood with a net in my hand waiting for those mullets to come by close for like hours, and they didn't do that because mullets are always learning. Chances are if you're casting for mullets in the same spot over and over again, they're not going to stay there. So let's get right into it. The net I'm going to be using today is a 12-foot net. It's 3/8 mesh size, and I use this for mullets on the shallow, pilchards, threadfins, if they're up on top, or like in a mid-range. But if you try to get bait like in deep water, let's say 12 foot and up, and they're on the bottom, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, so first things first, lead line, coil it up in your hand, nice even coils. Now this is a big net, so you want to get this net to really fit in your hand. Grab the horn, put that in your hand. And this is a really old net actually. I've ripped this net up. This net's got like 20 holes in it that I've patched up. It's got lead lines ripped off like 3 times. I sewed back on. Drawstrings popped off. I changed all of them. So it's a pretty beat up net, but I can still, get it to open pretty good. I can still get bait with it. And sometimes even if you don't get the net to open all the way, it's better to reach the bait and actually get the bait with a half open net and continue with your day fishing rather than to just stand around waiting for them to come close by. Most have a few. You're gonna want to put this in your dominant hand, the hand where you have most of your power in. So yeah, you get that in there, and next step, make sure to check for tangles in your net. Now, it would be best if you do this before you leave from home, because sometimes you show up to the spot and the bait already there and you just have to take a cast, and you don't always have time to do all this stuff. So yeah, check for tangles, get those out. You do not want to play lazy and probably miss your one chance at getting bait because you have a tangle in your net and you didn't bother to check. So get that out there, stretch it out, reach down, grab your net about an arm's length, bring that in the hand, reach down again, and I like to keep this about my pocket, the height of my pocket. Bring that up here. So if you're a tall guy, you'll probably have an advantage over shorter guys. Like, if you grab this net higher up, it's easier to get it open, but it's harder to get the distance. If you grab it lower down, it's easier to get the distance, but it's harder to get it open. So you got all this in your hand. What you're going to want to do is grab the end here, plunge that up, get about half, take that, put it in this hand, bring it across, put it in this hand like that, okay, and grab it. So once again, you take this, you bring it across and you lay it right here, like that. Lay it in there. So now you've got this. So that you have that, reach down and grab the lead line on the outside. It's a good time to also spot any tangles you have in there. Get that lead line on the outside, hold that, bring it up, pinch that in your thumb right there. Now you're going to gather some of this up. Gather it up like that. You're ready to cast. Swing it. Before I throw the net, I'm gonna just let you guys out on a little tip right now. If your net is really old and it's getting hard to work with because the lead lines are all tangling up and stuff, mono does have a tendency to do that because it has memory. So what you're gonna want to do is drop it in a bucket, soak it down in hot water for a little while, not too hot, and then just hang it off of something and let it stretch. And with this method in particular, if you do a little bit of, just do some sort of training or something. When I'm in the gym, I can get this net throw a mile, and when I'm out of the gym for a while, not so much. So it does take a lot of strength. It does take a lot of energy.
Awesome.
And that right there, guys, is why you need to reach the bait. As you can see, those bait was way out there, and I can't wait for them to come to me. I have to cast towards them. Took a few casts, but I reached them. So as you guys just saw, I nailed a couple of baits and stuff, and we're just out fishing now. But yeah, that's pretty much the method I use to cast my net. And it takes a couple of tries before you actually get what works for you. Like that method, if you're a tall guy, it works differently. If you're a short guy, it works differently. The height is obviously a really big advantage. So yeah, you need to give it a try and just see how it works for you. And the whole point is, when you're casting the net, when you throw with your strong arm, you bring the other arm below, so as the net goes out, it opens up. I don't always get that net to pancake perfectly. Depending on where you're standing, sometimes it's not a stable surface. Like on these rocks out here, they move a lot, and sometimes you trip up and all sort of nonsense. So I don't always get it opened up perfectly, but the whole idea is, if the bait's out there and you need to reach him, it's better to reach the bait with a half open net and actually get bait than to stand and look at the bait for an entire day waiting for him to get close enough for you to open that net on top of him. So yeah, so with this method, you do have the advantage of opening the net, and you also have the advantage of reaching the bait. So that is it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you use this method, put it into good use, and hope those baits don't give you a hard time getting any more. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, and if you have any questions, leave a comment. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, because there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on, and we don't always put it in the YouTube videos. We put it on Instagram sometimes, so yeah. And definitely please do subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate that. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot. See you guys next time.